Hello again, Gills fans. Welcome back to the latest episode of Gills in the Blood TV. It is Monday review time, but before we get into this week's video, I just want to say sorry to everyone for the lack of videos over the last week or so. Was struck down with the worst kind of flu last week, and that was man flu. Was stuck in bed and or the sofa for 3 days, thanks to my little girl who decided to share her germs. So you can't moan, can you, when you tell your kids they need to share. But back now, was back at the game on Saturday as Gills drew 0-0 with Accrington Stanley in what proved to be a very frustrating afternoon in a game that we bossed for large periods. So just going to have a look back at that. Thought first half we were the better side. That was the pattern of the game for me throughout the 90 minutes. But first half we were very solid defensively. We had centre-back pairing, didn't we, of Max Amar and Reece Bennett. That's been the way we've been going over the last few games, with Jack Tucker being employed as a defensive midfielder just in front. And I thought they were very, very solid. Kept them at arm's length. Colby Bishop barely had a kick, the centre-forward, who's been very good for Stanley over the last couple of seasons. And what we did was we made sure that Accrington played the game in front of us. We didn't get turned round. They didn't get in behind us. And obviously they decided to go quite direct to Harry Pell and Bishop, two strapping lads, I suppose is the best way to call it. Specifically, Pell, who is an absolute giant. Must be 6'7", 6'8", and obviously is going to cause teams problems with that height. But I thought Amar, Tucker, Bennett, the fullbacks, the keeper, dealt with it really, really well. And we restricted them to very little, if anything, at all. I thought one very notable stat was the fact that there was no dribbles attempted by any Accrington Stanley player in the first half. So they were just getting the ball and aiming diagonals and long balls into their front men. And we countered it very, very well. Going the other way, we was a threat. We were direct as well when we had to be, but we did also get it down on a few occasions and play some nice stuff. And I think there was one particularly good bit of play from John Akindi after bringing a ball out of the sky. He went on a little bit of a mazy run before getting brought down. And it was a Danny Lloyd free kick that Max Amar got in front of his man, flicked header at the near post, looked for all the world that it was going in from our seats in the Rainham end. Obviously it was down the far end in front of the Brian Moore stand. And Toby Savin made a really good save, flinging up an arm and getting it over the bar for a corner. And then the big chance, didn't it, come right at the end. And that was Ryan Jackson getting on the overlap, something that we've become accustomed to over his 2 spells with the club, and it's something we missed while he was injured in the early part of the campaign. But he seems to be back to his best, and it was a great ball in for big John Akindi, who does nothing wrong, gets in front of his man, glancing header, looks like it's going far corner. Again, Savin sticks out an arm, saves it. Dane Oliver's 4 yards out. He's just got to pass it into the far corner. I'm not sure what's happened. Big V's, he's got us out of trouble plenty of times. He's won us plenty of games, so I'm not going to dig him out. It's just having one of them patches at the moment where it's not really falling for him, and when it is, it's not quite going in. And he scuffed it wide of the near post with a whole goal at his mercy. But that was half time, and like I say, Gills were on the front foot. Gills were the better side. They were creating the better chances. And I said to Stocky on the match day live, if we keep doing what we're doing throughout the second period, I was very confident that we would win the game. Second half followed a very similar pattern, didn't it? We was on top territorially. Again, no Accrington Stanley player attempted any dribbles. It was all balls into feet and then balls into chest, balls into front men. And again, we dealt with it pretty well. I think Jamie Cumming had to make one save in the second period, and that was it. And he was very comfortable and very quiet afternoon for our number one. Apart from that, like I say, lots of territory, got into good areas. There was that one pattern of play where Danny Lloyd drifted in from the right, good drive with his left foot. Savin beat it out. It come to the edge of the box. Stuart O'Keefe, left-footed drive, looked like it was going in. Defender chucked himself in front of it. Come back to Stuart O'Keefe again. Looked like the defender might have saved it with his arm. There was some appeals in the ground. I couldn't see clearly to say for definite whether it was a spot kick or not. But yeah, that was 3 chances within 10 seconds, and it just started to feel like it wasn't going to be our day. We had a Jack Tucker header that was cleared off the line and then up onto the bar. And then the ball got recycled out to Carl Dempsey. And it was a cross-come shot from wide on the left, in swinging, hit the post, went out. We couldn't prod in a rebound. And then the other big moment was the Ross Sykes yellow card. Should it be a red card? Ball's played over the top. John Akindi's getting there, battling with Sykes. Sykes, I think, realises that John Akindi's beating him for pace and he's going to be bearing down on goal, and just sticks out his hand and flicks the ball away. Now, for me, I think it has to be a red card, because he's deliberately stopped John Akindi going through on goal. So if you go through on goal as a forward and the player cleans you out and makes no attempt to play the ball, it's a free kick / penalty with a red card. Why is it any different? He's clearly handled the ball on purpose. He's clearly prevented John from going through and getting a shot on goal. But the free kick hit the wall, and in the last few minutes the game fizzled out, didn't it? We had a few throw-ins but didn't really threaten. And Mustafa Carriol come on for a cameo but didn't really affect things. And yeah, we had to settle for a point. So it was 0-0 at full time. Another point on the board. But I said on the match day live, it feels like we should have had 9 points from the last 3 games against Doncaster, Bolton Wanderers and Accrington Stanley. And we've had to settle for 5. Frustrating. Right, in terms of Stanley Star man, it's a name that I've mentioned a couple of times already. Yep, you've guessed it. It was the keeper, Toby Savin, who had a really good afternoon between the sticks for John Coleman's men. He's effectively earned them a point, hasn't he? Let's not pretend, let's not dress it up. He's made 7 saves in total. 4 of them have been from shots inside the box. The 2 standouts for me are the ones in the first half. The one where he gets an arm up to prevent Max Amar's flick header going in, and then the other one where he's at full stretch to keep out John Akindi's header. And then he earns his bit of luck when Verdane Oliver scuffs the rebound wide of the near post. And then he's made a couple of good stops second period as well. So yeah, there was no other contender for me. In terms of forward players, we kept Accrington very, very quiet, so it was never going to be any of them. So it always had to be a defensive player. But I think what we did was we created chances, didn't we? So then it was up to Savin to keep us out, and he did it very, very well. So for me, Stanley Star man, goalkeeper Toby Savin. In terms of the Gills player ratings, it was a good, solid team performance, wasn't it? I mean, I think we could be sitting here if one of the early chances goes in and talking about a very comfortable win, because I think, honestly, that would have been the case. If the Max Amar header or the John Akindi header go in before half-time, I think we'd have won the game pretty comfortably. I think it was clear that the Accrington looked like they were settling for a point very early into the second half. And it's a good point on the road. They always say if you win your home games and draw your away games, then you're going to be doing all right. And they've conceded too many goals. I'm sure John Coleman knows that. So it's a good clean sheet, and it's a good point on the road. In terms of the Gills player ratings, I went Jamie Cummins 7, very quiet, but everything he did well. Ryan Jackson 6.5. Both centre backs, Max Amar and Reece Bennett, solid 7s. Robbie McKenzie 6. Again, did nothing wrong. It was just he's not the same type of fullback, is he, as Ryan Jackson. In the middle of the park, Jack Tucker 7, Stuart O'Keefe 7, Danny Lloyd 7, Carl Dempsey 6.5. Few people said they thought he was really good. I just thought he was slightly off it. Again, you can't fault Dempsey for work rate and willingness to keep wanting the ball, but I don't think a lot come off. Could have won the game, couldn't he, when he hit the post, and then the match rating's completely different, but just had one of them days for us. And the front 2, I gave 6.5s to John Akindi and Verdane Oliver. I thought John Akindi was absolutely superb first half, and the early part of the second period as well. He was really enjoying himself. He was having a laugh, wasn't he? There was one moment when the Accrington keeper, Savin, put a cap on because of the sun, and he just walked up to him, flicked it off and had a laugh with him. But he was bossing the centre-backs, big centre-backs as well, but unfortunately blew a gasket and probably should have been taken off. But Charlie Kelman, who we know now, has gone back to QPR, so that wasn't an option, and we didn't get Gerald Satoli on. We had no Ollie Lee, broken his toe. Stuart O'Keefe went off, so we've got more injury problems. Verdane, again, worked really hard, missed his big chance, unfortunately, and again, same as Carl Dempsey, we could be sitting here talking about a very different match rating. And substitute, Mustafa Carriol, gave us 6.5 as well. There was one run, but he didn't see a lot of the ball. So that's our Gillingham match ratings. In terms of the Gills man in the match, it was tricky. There was a few, like I say, there was solid 7s, weren't there, for Jamie Cummins, Max Amar, Reece Bennett, Jack Tucker, Stuart O'Keefe, Danny Lloyd. They was all decent enough, all put in a shift, all tried to make things happen in attacking areas, those type of players, and obviously kept them at bay in defensive areas. But for me, looking at the stats in a bit more depth now, with the benefit of a couple of days, I'm going to say the Gills man of the match for me was Danny Lloyd. Duracell bunny, never stops running. You know what you get from Lloyd. Even if he's not on top form, he's going to keep working hard. He's going to keep showing for the ball. He's going to keep trying to make things happen. He's forced 2 good saves from Savin. He's put the ball in for John Akindi, which could put us 1-0 up, so he could have had an assist. 86% pass completion rate, 3 key passes, 2 shots on target. Really good afternoon for Danny Lloyd, and probably deserved to be on the winning side. But such is our luck at the moment that it's just not falling for us, and we're having to grind out points. But we are 3 games unbeaten. We have picked up 5 from the last 9 available. I've tweeted out today, Monday, that it is frustrating the last 3, but we have had 2 of our 3 league clean sheets in the last 4 games. We've had 3 of our 4 highest shots at goal tallies, and we've had all 3 of our highest shots on target tallies. So next step now is to be more clinical. Steve Evans has mentioned it. Start taking them chances. I'm confident we'll start climbing the table. But again, the issue is the injuries that keep mounting up. So that's now Alex McDonald for a month. Daniel Phillips and David Tatonda look like they're out until Christmas. Ollie Lee, a month, 6 weeks, broken toe. Stuart O'Keefe, hamstring, depending on whether it's just a tweak or a tear. That could be anything from a week, 2 weeks to a month, 6 weeks. So never known anything like it in recent seasons, and we just have to get on with it. Got off on a bit of a tangent, haven't I? But Gills man of the match for me was Danny Lloyd. Right, that is enough from me this week. So thanks for watching and listening. It's great to be back talking about football. Managed to get through the video without coughing, which is great. If you are looking to play football and lose weight, don't forget to check out Man v Fat Football. If you sign up at the Gillingham site, and I think the Gravesend one, which will be available soon, and use the code Gills in the Blood, you will get a massive discount on your subscription. So do check them out. Their graphic will be at the end of this video. Please keep downloading Fan Hub. Gills have just got over 350 fans on that app. It's brilliant. It's everything you want to do with your football club at your fingertips. On your phone, on your iPad, score predictions, team lineups, club news, minutes, miles travelled, grounds visited, goals scored, penalties conceded that you've seen. Download it. You won't regret it. There's match tickets given away every week, every month. They've just signed up to a partnership with the Terrace Life. We'll do all the retro mugs and kits and beach towels. So it is really exciting. Right, that is enough from me. I hope your Monday has not been too stressful. No midweek game this week, which is probably a good thing because we've got half a squad missing still. We'll be back later in the week, hopefully, with a match preview with a Cheltenham fan ahead of this Saturday's FA Cup tie, which the Gills have been great with and taken all our money, and then decided to tell us 5 days before the game that kickoff has been moved from 3 p.m. to 2 p.m. But that is all I'm going to say on that. Till next time, up the Gills.